What's up? I think we're live. Wait, my computer's doing something. Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, we're live. The magic is in the movement, is what we're talking about. We're talking about what is movement, why we need to be moving, how to move properly, and how to do it for a long, long time. All right. Um, if you're getting on, as always, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. Hopefully, get some people get on. As you come in, please pop something in the comments so that I know you're here. And I'll say hi and we can get moving after a couple people get in. If nobody gets on, then as always, I will still talk and hopefully give you some information that you can use when you watch the recording. All right. Hope everybody's week is good. We got that cold front. It's like the whole country is frozen right now. Crazy. Started to warm up here a little bit though. Hopefully you guys are getting warm a little too. This Facebook Live interface shows me all kinds of stuff. We got graphics. I did not realize we can do questions and polls in the live. You can ask a question and you guys can answer. I'll have to play around with some of this stuff. All right. What we are going to do is at some point I'm going to, if I can figure it out, get some screen shares. I got some stuff for you guys to look at while we're talking. All right. We're a minute and 30 in, got 30 seconds, and I'll get started. Hopefully, this is good information. One of the things that I get a lot from people, and that I see people asking questions about, just showing that there's a general misunderstanding of why we need to do exercise, what it means to move your body, and why it's important, and then how to do that. How do we do that? What are we looking at when we talk about movement or exercise? Movement and exercise. Basically, we're just going to say that those are the same thing. In this talk, while we're talking about movement, what I'm talking about is exercise, doing something that's active to help improve your health and your fitness, okay? Because your fitness is your health. We've talked about that before. There is a direct, a point to point connection between how fit you are and how healthy you are. So I need everyone to understand that nutrition and the stuff that you can do for nutrition is a big piece of what you need to do to fix your overall health. It is one piece. It's one half, right? There's two aspects. Well, honestly, if you want to look at a holistic view, it's maybe a third, right? Because there's the food you put in your body, there's the stimulus and the effort that you put in to make your body fit and be able to handle stress. That's exercise. And then there's also mental health, mindset, doing things that put you in a positive mental mindset, help you move forward and handle things mentally, be mentally strong. So if you look at a holistic view, you're looking at nutrition, fitness, and mental health. So I think that that's something that we also forget. That's probably a talk for another day. I actually have some things planned. Keep your eyes open to have some mental health experts do some videos and provide some information to help us with mindset stuff, because the mind controls a lot more than you might think. But back to fitness, back to moving your body and exercise. Exercise is a huge piece because you can eat all the right stuff, but if you don't tell your body how to use it, if you don't give your body a reason to start using the things that you're eating, it's really not going to help a lot. You can adjust your body composition, right? You can lose body fat. You can gain a little bit of lean mass and build muscle just by eating more protein, especially if you're already protein deficient. If you're not getting enough already, when you start eating more, you will automatically gain lean mass because your body now has enough things to work with and build lean mass. Um, but that is like getting on a boat in a lake and then just sitting there and letting whatever current, wind, whatever it may be, kind of just let you go about where you're going to go. You're not giving yourself any direction. You're not doing anything to actually move in a direction. So that's where fitness, that's where exercise comes in. Exercise provides a stimulus to your body to tell it it needs to be more efficient. It needs to use the fuels better. It needs to build more, recover faster, balance hormones better. It needs to work better. Exercise is you telling your body, I'm giving you the food that you need. You now need to learn how to use it the way it's meant to be used. Okay. The two have to go together. You've got to put the two together. So I use this analogy when I talked with Marty Kendall last week. It's like having a car. You can give your car the best gas. You can give your car the best fuel, transmission fluid, brake fluid, whatever, oil, all of that stuff. You can do all of the best, highest end fluids and things possible. You can give your fuel the best thing to your car. If your tires are dry rotted, if your brakes are shot, if your O-rings in your engine are bad, if your spark plugs haven't been changed in 400,000 miles, okay, if the floor's rotted out of your back seat or your front seat for that matter, right? If those things aren't taken care of, you still can't drive your car. Your car isn't doing you any good by just giving it all the right fluids and things that it needs to run the engine properly. You need to actually make sure that the engine works and that you can push the engine and that the engine can handle stress and that the car can handle stress and that the car can accelerate and decelerate and turn and respond to the things that happen to it as it's driving on the road. Okay, that is us handling stress. Exercise allows us to handle stress, adapt to changes, recover, and then do it again. And that is life. That is survival. Survival is an action word, and we need to be ready for that. Okay. So that is my diatribe on why we need exercise, why we need fitness in our lives. Okay. Also, just mentally, we talk about mental health. When you exercise, you feel good, right? You have energy, you can do stuff. Your outlook is positive. You feel like you have a goal that you're working for. You live on successes that you put yourself in every single day because every single day you have to do something challenging and you do it and you win. It is a winning lifestyle when you exercise. All right, keep that in mind. Okay, there are one, two, three, four, three basic things that we're going to break down into a bunch more things tonight. Okay, first thing, when we talk about movement, okay, these three things. I want you to move often, I want you to move well, and I want you to move weight. Okay, you need to move things, right? So obviously, if you're moving something, whether it's your body or an external weight, you're moving something. Okay. So moving often first. That is the first step. It doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you do it as much as possible and consistently. Okay. You can start with a walk in the park every day. You can start with walking up and down the stairs 10 times in the morning, whatever. As long as you start doing something and you do it often, you're going to see some progress. You're going to naturally want to progress and do more and do better, make things more complicated, add more intensity, whatever. But that will come on its own. You don't have to force that. Okay. So moving often is the first thing. Once you start moving, then you need to start worrying about moving well, right? We talk about technique, range of motion, using your body the way it was intended to be used, right? And then we'll talk about why that's important. Then we want to talk about moving weight. The last thing we ever want to do is add intensity. Okay, so when you're just starting, if you can just move your body around the house, move your body up and down the stairs, move your body down the road, whatever it may be, that's perfectly fine. You don't need to worry about adding any external weight. Your body weight will be fine. Okay, and for most people, body weight is a great place to start. You can do a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff with just your body, without dumbbells, kettlebells, resistance bands, or whatever else. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do, and that's perfectly fine if that's where you're at. All right, so then we talk about the next level up above body weight is external weights: dumbbells, kettlebells, resistance bands, barbells, sandbags, medicine balls, all that other kind of stuff. There's tons of different devices and equipment out there that we can talk about where you add intensity by adding weight. All right. All right. So when we talk about moving often, moving well, and moving weight, those are your three pillars of movement. Okay. Then we break those down. We talk about moving often. Okay. The first thing when we talk about that, what we're talking about is what are you doing? Okay. So we have to talk about first off, what is the components of fitness? So when we talk about what we're doing, the goal of movement, the goal of exercise is to get fit, right? I'm exercising because I want to improve my fitness. Well, how do I improve my fitness? What is fitness? Okay. I'm going to read you 10 words. Okay. 10 words. Okay. This is the 10 components, the definition of the things that make up a general picture of fitness. Okay. Cardiorespiratory endurance, stamina, strength, flexibility, power, speed, coordination, accuracy, agility, and balance. Okay. Now let me see if I can share my screen here. Hold on. It's not letting me. Let's see. It had share screen as an option before. Now it does not. I wanted to share this with you. All right, well, I guess I can't share this with you. I will post the picture, add a comment. I'm going to add this to the comments in here, 10 components, so that everybody can look at it, okay? And then there's going to be another one I'm going to add that we're going to talk about, add in metabolic pathways. Just writing these down so don't forget. Picks, 2 comments. Okay. So when we talk about the components of fitness, what is fitness and why do we exercise? We exercise because there are 10 areas that we need to make sure our body can perform in order to improve our quality of life. That's it. 10 areas, okay? We need to be able to do things, activities for a long period of time, cardiorespiratory endurance. We need to be able to do things potentially at a high level of effort for a period of long time, okay? So a good example is if I'm moving furniture, right? Picking up that couch or picking up that dresser or those boxes, whatever it is, and walking up the stairs to bring them from the truck to the house or the apartment or whatever, that is a good amount of effort. I'm going to put that stuff down. I'm going to walk down the stairs. I'm going to go to the truck, grab something else, and do it again. That could be, I've moved people. Good Lord, I've moved people where it's been like that for 6 hours a day for 3 days because they got so much crap. Okay. That stamina, you need to be able to do things like that and respond in those situations. Strength. How much can I move? How much effort can you put against an object and make it move? Picking it up, pushing it, rolling it, flipping it, grabbing it, pulling it, whatever it may be. Okay. Flexibility. How well do your joints work? Can you bend over and tie your shoes, or do you need to sit down on the chair? Can you reach into a cabinet and pick something up? Do you have low back pain because your hips are so tight that your low back is overworking and compensating because you have bad hips? There's a ton of chronic issues and pain that people have because they cannot use their joints properly. That is directly impacting their quality of life. That's why we need to do fitness. That's why we need to move our bodies well. Okay. Power. How much can you move quickly? If you need to react to a situation quickly and do something, can you do that? Right? Speed. How fast can you get from point A to point B? Coordination. Can you feel and control complex movements? Can you do multiple things or things that have multiple joints involved at the same time? Okay. Accuracy. Can you make your body do what you want it to do when you want it to do it? If I need to move a specific part of my body, can I do that? Can I control what my body's doing? Or am I just doing a motion and whatever part of my body works to get me there, that's what happens. That's where most injuries come from because people can't control what's actually happening with the body. Agility, can you change direction? This is where a lot of other injuries come, is people try to react to a situation. They're moving one direction. They have to go the other direction. Their body can't handle the stress and they get hurt. Balance, another source of injury. People falling over, people not able to manage one side of their body or one part of their body at a time. Okay. 10 components of fitness. This is why we need to move. This is why variety is key in what you decide to do for your exercise. Variety is super, super important. Okay. You cannot just get on a treadmill. You cannot just lift weights. Okay. You have to do a combination of things that puts your body in situations where you develop and improve in all 10 aspects of fitness. Okay. So that does a couple different things, which we can maybe talk about in another video. But there's a side benefit of having variety. Not only does it allow you to build all 10 components of fitness, but it also allows you to have some recovery time because you can flip from one to the other, work a couple of them, give a couple the rest, work something else, give something else a rest. It allows you to get more training in because now you're flip-flopping and overlapping and switching back and forth between different components of fitness, and you never really tire any one of them out to the point of getting hurt or being chronically injured. Okay, that's a different thing. All right, so that's one of the keys to variety. There's 10 things you need to train in all 10 things. If you want to be metabolically and physically healthy, your body needs to perform well in all 10 components of fitness. Please remember that. That cannot happen if you are not moving your body. Not going to happen. Okay. So that's where you can lose some weight just with eating. You cannot be really fully healthy without working on your fitness. Okay. All right. That's the 10 components of fitness. Another aspect of move often and why we need to move often and have variety is what we call the metabolic pathways. Okay. There are three main ways, and this is another graphic that I will put in the comments. There are three main ways that our body burns fuel. Okay. There's what's called the phosphagen or ATP system, and that is short sprint work, lifting a heavy weight one time, kind of that short. It's basically using energy that's stored in your muscles to get work done quickly. Okay. It doesn't last that long. You can do maybe, let's just say up to a minute or less of work, right? It's really like 20 seconds. Okay. Where you're using that and it's gone. It's got enough stored in there for 20 seconds, 10 seconds, really hard work, and it's good and it's done. All right. Uh, ATP phosphagen comes from the breakdown of other fuels, carbs or fat. I should say glycogen or fat. Okay. So this is another tie-in. We talk about metabolic pathways. What we're talking about is the things that make our body burn fuel and what fuels it decides it wants to use based on the activity we're doing. Okay. So when we talk about phosphagen, it's using fuel stored in the muscle, ATP. That's the actual substrate that is turned, that makes your muscles twitch, that makes your muscles move. Okay. That mitochondria use. It's stored, it's gone, it doesn't last very long. Not a lot of storage space, and it's out. Okay. The next thing your body uses is glycogen, the glycolytic pathway. And that is anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 20 minutes to a minute and a half ish, right? Got that minute time frame. Again, shorter work, high intensity interval training, weightlifting. You do a set that lasts about a minute, right? Maybe I'm doing 15 reps of something or 10 reps of something, five something. Or I'm doing a metabolic conditioning. I'm doing a CrossFit workout or high intensity interval training. I'm doing sled pushes or sprints or something like that. Okay. Uh, it's using glycogen. Remember, guys, glycogen can come from carbs. Glycogen can come from fat. Okay. So again, tying into what you're eating, if you're eating carbs, your body's going to use the carbs. Okay. If you have body fat on you stored on your body, you have adipose tissue, your body will use that in the glycolytic pathway as well. So you don't need carbs in order to do high intensity effort. The more you vary what you're doing and the more you train your body to work in all three of these phases, the more body fat you're going to burn. Okay. The third area is oxidative, which is fat burning. That is the zone, right? That is a minute and a half, 2 minutes or longer. Like just it's 20 minutes. It's just keep going. It's running, it's rowing, it's swimming, it's jump roping, it's all that kind of stuff. The what you think of as endurance sports. Basically, that is your body's going to burn fat, primarily fat for fuel. And that is where most people talk about get into the fat burn zone. Okay. The problem with that is it's one pathway and the amount of time required to burn enough body fat is not conducive to most people's lifestyle. Most people don't have 45 minutes to an hour and a half a day to get on a treadmill. Don't have it. Okay. So while it is a great way, and I'm not saying not to do it, it should not be the primary focus of any one person's program for body composition training and overall health improvement because it's one component of three. The time investment is the highest of all of them, and the return on investment in the other 10 areas of fitness, right? You're going to work endurance, all you're working is one cardiorespiratory endurance, one aspect of fitness out of 10. That's it. Okay. So get off the treadmill, get off the rower, get off the elliptical. Okay. Going for a walk is great. Going for a run is great. Going for a bike ride is great. It has to be combined with the other two pathways, which means, as you see when we talk about moving weight, is going to come into play there. So I highly recommend do some high intensity interval training. Vary what you're doing. Throw some HIIT in there, throw some CrossFit in there, throw some body weight, whatever, throw some sprints, throw some, just sit up and down in a chair as fast as possible for 2 minutes, right? Whatever it is you can do, you got to vary it. If you don't know what to do, all you got to do is ask, and I can give you some ideas. Okay. Remember, if you're watching this, you're in the group, in the announcements, which I just reminded myself I had to rebuild and forgot to add. I need to put a link. There is a link to a free bodyweight program. Add to announcements, plus, plus, plus. All right, there's going to be a link to a free bodyweight workout program that you can do. It has videos and all kinds of stuff if you don't have something to get started and you want to do something different other than just going out, okay, for a walk or something like that. Okay, so remember, there's 10 components of fitness. That's why moving often and adding variety to what you're doing is important. There are 3 different ways that your body uses fuel. Again, variety, don't do the same thing all the time. You need to use all 3 pathways, okay? If you want to be metabolically healthy, if you want to be good at your body using fuel in all of the situations it may need to use fuel, you have to put yourself in all the situations it may need to use fuel, okay? All right, so that is moving often. Let's talk about moving well, okay? Moving well is when we talk about technique, we talk about range of motion. So technique is super important because we want you to do things properly because we don't want you to get hurt, okay? That's probably the number one priority there is safety. The other thing is we want you to get the most out of the movement, okay? And this is where range of motion comes in along with technique. If you're doing a movement improperly, then you are not using the motor patterns, the movement patterns, the joints, or activating the muscles that movement is targeted to work, to build and make stronger. Okay. If I'm doing a movement, let's say a bent over row where I'm bent over and I'm pulling, okay, but I'm not really bent over all the way and I'm almost standing vertically, then that exercise is meant to work my back, right? If this is my head, this is my back. If I'm bent over and I'm pulling the weight up and down, I'm working my back. If I'm standing and I'm not doing that exercise properly and I'm pulling from my shoulders, I'm working my shoulders. I'm working my shoulders in a range of motion that they're not designed to work, and I'm not supposed to be working my shoulders. The program says do this because it wants to work my back. So I'm completely missing the point of the program by doing the exercise improperly. Okay. So it's important to understand how to execute the movement. That's why there's videos and all the stuff that I do, right? All the programs that you see, there will always be videos. And because you're in the group, you can always ask how to do an exercise. Or if something's challenging, you're not sure what to do with it, ask for an option. Say, hey, this is supposed to, here's what I'm supposed to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't have equipment. I have an injury, whatever. And you can ask, how can I get the same target of this exercise, but do it differently? Perfectly fine. Is what I'm here for. Okay. Um, so remember, it's technique and range of motion is all about executing things safely. We don't want you to get hurt. It's about being efficient and teaching your body how to do the things you want it to do as energy saving as possible. When you do things improperly, you do extra work. Okay, think about that. When you do things improperly, you're doing extra work. One, you're using muscles and joints and movement patterns that you're not intended to use. Okay. And two, because of that, you're asking your body to do things and use energy more than you would if you did it properly. Okay. So you're also increasing your risk of injury. See how this all kind of goes together. Okay. It's kind of a loop. Okay. It's all a loop. All right. The last thing about that, I don't want to go too long in this. The last thing about moving well, not only is it efficiency and safety, but it's sustainability. When you learn how to do movements properly, When you get your range of motion so that you're actually using your joints in the way they're meant to be used, you're activating the muscles that are meant to be activated, then what we have is we have a reduction in compensation, which means you have a reduction in injury of risk, a reduction in chronic pain, which means you can do physical activity for longer at any one time, and you can do physical activity for longer throughout your lifespan. You can be active as you get older because you haven't worn yourself down and broken yourself over time. Okay. And that's what we're looking for. We want you to have a good quality of life until you're in your 90s and hundreds and you're still out there just killing it, right? That's what we're looking for. Okay. So moving well is not just about safety, it's about efficiency, it's about saving energy, it's about sustainability, and it's about long term quality of life. Okay. The last thing we have when we talk about movement is moving weight. Okay. The beginning portion for most people is going to be body weight. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Your body, it's what we call gymnastics. Okay. Gymnasts, if you didn't know, are pound for pound some of the strongest athletes in the world. Okay. And they just move their body around. Okay. A lot of their training is just moving their body. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. You can do crazy, awesome things just moving your body around. All right. So don't be afraid to get started with something like that. Like I said, I'll have it uploaded by the end of the evening. But there is a free bodyweight program that you can download. It will be in the announcement at the top of the page. Okay. Um, Once you get to a point where you feel like you have, there's also in the announcements, there's two announcements. The first one is a blog that I wrote that has some benchmarks in there for if you're getting started to kind of help you set some goals for what may be good fitness things for you to try to shoot for if you don't have anything. If you've never done something before and like, I don't know what I'm doing, how do I get started? Read that. It kind of goes through this stuff and kind of gives you, hey, here's a good thing to start with. Here's a good thing to start with. That goes over and covers a lot of the 10 components of fitness to make sure that you're setting goals that are going to give you an overall good balance of fitness and health. Okay. So keep that in mind. That's in the announcements as well. There's two announcements. The first announcement is that blog with the benchmarks and how do you get started with fitness. The second blog is you're welcome to the group. And I'm going to put a link in there on to download the body weight program that you can use for free. Okay. Where was I at? Once you're done with body weight, once you feel like you've gotten to a point, you've got the benchmarks in, you can do a certain number of squats, you can do your push-ups or sit-ups, whatever it is, and you feel like you're ready to add something new, then we can talk about barbells, we can talk about dumbbells and kettlebells and weights and things like that. You need to do that stuff, all right, because you need to give your body a reason to grow muscle. You need to give your body a reason to use the metabolic process, okay, of tearing down and recovery, of growing muscle, of keeping your body healthy, managing your hormones. All those things happen when you do work. Doing work equals moving weight, period. Okay. The more weight you can move, the faster you can move it, the longer you can move it, the more you increase your capacity to do work, the more fit you are. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. The more you increase your capacity to do work, the more fit you are. Okay, that means the more fit you are, the more healthy you are because your metabolism is your health. Remember that. Your metabolism, metabolic rate, your metabolism by definition is the function of your body. How does my body function? My metabolism is the function of my body. If my metabolism is working, if my metabolism is healthy, if my metabolism has the fuel that it needs to have, if my metabolism can handle stress and adapt to situations, then I am healthy. Okay. It's amazing how this stuff works, guys. Fitness is such a key factor in your health. It is absolutely amazing. Okay. And that's why I'm passionate about it because I don't think people talk about it enough. I think we're stuck on losing fat. I think we're stuck on all eating the right things and stressing over what we're putting into our mouths. And we're forgetting the big piece of just building muscle and moving our bodies. Okay. All right. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, please, please, please ask, post in the group. If there's any feedback, any topics you guys want to add, you want to see me talk about each week, then do that. Post it, and so I can do that because I love talking about this stuff. And I hope to see your stories, improvements, and successes as we go along the journey. All right, take it easy.